everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is a little bit of a different one. Today we're going to be going over the Brad Hand trade and what it means for the Padres, for the Indians, and Hand, Cimber, and Mejia. And we're going to be breaking it down, but right now we're going to go over the overview. Brad Hand, Adam Cimber on their way to Cleveland in exchange for Mejia. We're going to take a look at their stats here. And Hand is one of the most dominant relief pitchers in baseball. He's had, I believe, the third highest workload of innings of relievers since 2016. He has a real good Ks per 9 ratio. Here's a look at Adam Cimber's numbers. Somewhat underrated. He's been good for the Padres. And the Padres, they get Francisco Mejia, he's real good, 22 years old, a switch hitting catcher prospect. And we're going to dive in a little deeper in a little bit. But first, let's look at what Cleveland is getting from this trade. Alrighty, so then before I show this part of the video, I just want to say I don't own this next piece of footage. It is just MLB highlights of Brad Hand. But right now, let's dive into Brad Hand and how dominant he's been. He's had one of the highest workloads of any reliever in baseball since 2016. I believe he's second or third in that category. And that's because he's developed a new pitch when he came to San Diego, the slider, which has tons of movement on it. It's a real dominant pitch for him. You'll see why in these highlights here. And he's a real good pitcher. However, the Indians decide to use him, whether it be as the closer or fireman or just a setup guy. Hand is going to flourish in any situation you put him in. He feeds on adrenaline, and hopefully he will be good for the Indians. Hopefully he'll be able to get some postseason experience. And now let's take a look at Adam Cimber. Guys, and now we're going to take a look at Adam Cimber. I couldn't find any highlight videos for him on YouTube, but we're just going to take a look at his stats here. He's a submariner guy. This is kind of where, in my opinion, the trade gets a little balanced towards the Indians. Because Hand is a real good reliever. This guy, I feel like the Padres should have kept him, in my opinion, and thrown in Tyson Ross or something. Because this guy, after the 2018 season, has 5 years of control left on him, and in his rookie campaign, he has a 3.17 ERA halfway in through the season with 48.1 innings pitched. That's good for any reliever, and he's the guy who will give you innings. I know this from watching him, and he's been good for the Padres. So now let's take a look at what the Padres got in Francisco Mejia. Alright guys, now we're going to talk about what the Padres got in return. The one prospect they got in return is Francisco Mejia, the number 15 prospect in all of baseball, the best catching prospect right now in all of baseball. He's a switch hitter, standing in at 5'10", 22 years old, and he doesn't have any 2018 Major League stats, but he's expected to be a real solid player. I looked at some of his hittings, some of his scout ratings type things, and they're above average. He has a really strong arm, but I've heard that his fielding is so-so. So it's that kind of questions. Will he be staying behind the plate when he makes it to the big leagues? Or will he move to the outfield or even play on the infield? If he were to play in the infield, I'd expect it to be third base. Because I'm not sure how much faith the Padres have in Christian Villanueva right now, the current third baseman. But if he were to move to the outfield, I'd expect it to be to right field. And then Myers will stay in left field. But right now, the Padres have 10 of the top 100 prospects in all of baseball, which is absolutely insane. Their farm system is loaded. I've heard that before they added their farm system, it was very relatable to the Cubs farm system just before they made their World Series run and won the World Series. But he's a real good player. I've heard that his bat-to-ball skills are truly incredible. But I've heard he swings at almost everything, which is somewhat good because his bat-to-ball skills are so good. But once he gets to the big leagues, he's going to have to learn some plate discipline. And now let's go over what I think of the overall trade. In my opinion, it's a win-win for both sides. The Cleveland Indians had the 29th highest ERA in Major League Baseball for their bullpen. And the only team behind them that had a higher ERA than them was the Kansas City Royals. And they're on set to lose 110 games or something crazy like that. So they adjust their need. They want to win now while their window is still open, while they have guys like Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor and Corey Kluber and Cody Allen, Andrew Miller, people like that. And for the Padres, it's a win for them long term as long as he pans out like he should. I'd say it's like a 95% chance he pans out, concerning he's the number 15 prospect in all of baseball. And he's real good to the plate. His bat-to-ball skills are truly incredible. Yeah, it's a win-win both sides. And if you're a Padre fan and you're like, oh my gosh, why did the Padres straight hand? It's because they're not going to contend in 2018. They might contend in 2019, and they're probably going to contend in 2020, and for sure they're going to contend in 2021. More than likely, Brad Hand would have helped them in 2019, 2020, and I think 2021, but there's a chance, he doesn't become, he gets, let's say, his ERA soars, he's struggling. This is just kind of like insurance. Look at it that way. Brad Hand could have gone bad. Same with Cimber. So if you're a Padre fan, look to the future and see how bright it is. And I expect Mejia and Urias to be September call-ups. If not, they're going to be a part of the 2019 season. And Fernando Tatis Jr., the number 3 prospect in all of baseball, I either expect him to be called up in 2019 or 2020. I would lean more towards 2020 if I'm being 100% honest. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video.